The never-ending story. Once Emperor Akbar fell ill. Though the illness was not very serious, it prevented the emperor from sleeping till the early hours of the morning. The royal physicians tried various medicines, but without any effect. In the end, a hakim suggested that
The emperor should hear a story before retiring to bed every night, so that his mind might remain cheerful and enable him to sleep peacefully.
It seems a good suggestion.
But how shall I get a man who tell me a story every night?
now, it became a real problem for the Durbaris to tell a tale to their master every night. For, though they managed to tell a story, as the emperor would not sleep, the minister had to add on another tale to the first and go on with it. And this went on till, not the listener, but the storyteller began to feel sleepy. In the end, not knowing how to get out of the situation, the Durbaris consulted Birbal. He agreed to tell a story to the emperor to put him to sleep. Birbal told him another tale, but, as soon as it was over, he was confronted with the same royal question. What next? So a third story followed, and this time too. As it came to an end, the emperor asked, "What next?" In order to put an end to this, Birbal began his new tale thus.
In a certain jungle there was a hut. A bheel stayed in it. The jungle was inhabited by different kinds of birds and beasts. And, though the bheel was capable of protecting himself from the animals, his great problem was the birds who went into his hut and came out carrying in their beaks grains of corn.
Yes.
For a long time the bheel thought over the problem of getting rid of the birds. In the end, he succeeded in finding a way out.
Yes.
The bheel went to the market and bought a big basket. He kept all the grains of corn in the basket and closed its lid tightly.
Yes. What next?
When the birds, as usual, entered the hut, not finding their food anywhere, turned their attention to the basket.
What happened then?
The birds then pecked at the basket but only hurt themselves in the process.
What then?
Among the birds was a little sparrow, who was very clever. She made friends with a small mouse in the hut and asked him to help her. He nibbled at the basket. Nobody knew how, but soon, the birds came to know of this, and gathered in great numbers outside the hut. My God, so many birds. Do you know how many, Sarkar?
How many?
500 birds.
So many of them. What then?
Then one bird went into the hut and holding a grain of corn in its beak, flew out. Then the second bird entered the hut and holding a grain of corn in its beak, flew out.
Then
The fifth bird went into the hut and,
Birbal, now how many birds are left?
Sarkar, so far only 5 birds have flown out. There are still 495 birds to go. So what was I saying? Yes, the sixth bird went into the hut and,
Hearing the dull story of the birds going into the hut one by one and coming out, the emperor got so disgusted that he almost shouted.
Birbal, when are these birds going to finish their task of carrying the grain out?
when you stop saying, what next? Sarkar,
The emperor realized his folly and ordered that his program of hearing a tale from his courtiers each night should be stopped.